Drink of water, and then we're going to start.
Sweet.
Don't use this for the intro. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Content Marketing Takedown. Ross is out of office on vacation this week, so we're taking over the Takedown. My name is Katie Nisbet. I'm a Senior Content Marketing Manager at Siege Media, and we're in good company today. We have Alex Hines, our Director of Content Marketing, and our Content Marketing Manager, Kyla Kaiser. Free people, we love you, but we're taking down your content strategy today, or should I say lack thereof. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Free People is a boho American apparel lifestyle fashion industry, or as they call it, a fashion destination for the free-spirited. So one common theme that we're going to be talking about today is how well-known fashion brands with brand authority aren't harnessing their content strategy. So something that's interesting here on their site homepage, you can see it's very branded, feels Free People. As one of their consumer bases, this feels like home to me. If we go down and let's go ahead and take a look at their blog, they have located in the footer, brownie SEO points, love this. But we get to the blog homepage and this is definitely a different feel. For starters, we see Building 25. This is how they have their blog homepage branded. As fans of their brand, what does this have to do with Free People? It's not clear, and this needs to be branded similar to their site so the blog feels like a connection. Another thing that we can quickly call out too is that they have their blog on a subdomain. We've seen multiple case studies as an SEO agency on the benefits of moving from a subdomain to a subfolder, even 2 times traffic increases. As an agency, we also have a lot of internal data and clients that we can rely on, and we can say we've seen this increase by 2-fold traffic overnight as well. So we'd suggest that move as a quick SEO tip. So backtracking a little bit here, going back to their blog homepage and Building 25, if we take a look into Ahrefs and look at their top pages by top traffic pages and see what terms they're ranking for, you can tell right off the bat that Free People blog is one major branded term. So this means that consumers are coming to the blog by searching for it specifically. So that means the blog homepage design is going to be that much more important because people are coming here first. So we want it to feel like a sister to the site. Another thing that's really important, love that they have these categories here for consumers who come to the blog looking for a specific category. For example, if I came in looking for what to wear for Valentine's Day, I'm on a fashion page, I'm probably going to be interested in similar content that is fashion. But something that we think they can improve with their categories is, why is shop included here? Shop is not a category. We want to make it really apparent and push consumers back to the site where they can make a purchase. So number one, make this more apparent and not blended in as a category. They also have the push button here, but that also can be improved. And it's not until at the bottom of their blog where they have another shop location. So number one is making that more apparent. Okay, so I mentioned earlier brand authority is going to be huge in 2020. Referencing back to my example, Free People blog, consumers are searching to come straight to the blog. So this is going to be a big trend, especially with competition getting pretty fierce with retail markets. There's going to be a lot of different types of content that Free People can leverage to both attract organic traffic and links. And Alex is going to speak a little bit about how we can do that.
Yeah, well, first kind of taking a step back from their specific content strategy. Having worked in the fashion industry, I know how hard content marketing especially can be because there's a lot of authorities and influencers in the space. These fashion bloggers are not going to link to big brands' content or probably any content because they're making affiliate money from their own content. And when doing outreach, especially cold outreach from a huge brand, everyone wants sponsorships. So what we think of the typical content marketing really probably is not going to be working here. However, that doesn't mean that fashion brands should ignore SEO and content marketing, which is what a lot of them are doing. Taking a look at Free People's blog traffic over the years, you can really see that it's taken a pretty sharp decline. And that kind of goes for other editorial fashion companies and other fashion brands in the industry. So looking at a huge player, Vogue, you can see the exact same trend. And, Vogue should be one of the biggest authorities in fashion topics, and especially because print is kind of falling by the wayside and digital is huge. And really, these brands are not optimizing for it. What should they do? First, they should look at what topics drive traffic for them. If you look at the Free People blog, kind of back to what's driving traffic, they only have 3 posts that are bringing in more than 500 views per month. And one of them is their branded term, Free People blog. They have over 20,000 blog posts indexed. Obviously, they can be kind of targeting keywords and optimizing better for the blog posts that they can rank for, and then kind of going after terms that tie into their products and their offerings. So let's take a look at one specific blog post that they have that can definitely be better optimized and also tie to their hair care products. You can look at this post, How to Clean Your Hairbrushes Naturally. How to Clean Your Hairbrushes has 4,000 searches per month. And if you look at what's ranking number 1, it's pretty thin, not visually appealing, not looking great. There's really no photos in there other than this stock photo of hairbrushes. And as a Free People brand who has beautiful hair care products, they could be optimizing this much better and probably ranking somewhere on the first page. So kind of taking a look, first of all, the steps are huge. When someone's asking how to clean a hairbrush, they want the steps front and center. You can see that the steps are overlaid on images. They're not even crawlable by Google. So if Google was crawling this, they don't know what to do and how to clean the hairbrush. Another thing is just to add more copy. So the steps are all one word: rinse, dry. Obviously, it's somewhat straightforward, but we should add more context to readers, add, pro tips for people, just so they have a better understanding. And then in addition to kind of bulking up this thin content, from, a brand and a sales perspective, they don't have any internal links to products in this at all. Not even to, a hair care page. Not that they don't have buttons or anything in your face, but they have nothing. So making sure that we're always directing users back to product pages and making them want to convert is really important in content like this.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, Alex. And even the style of the images is here. Like, as a Free People consumer, this feels on brand for them. One thing too, in post images, let's make those full width. Why are they skinny and kind of not taking advantage of, optimizing for UI, UX of blog post pages, right?
Yeah, and even if these are optimized for Pinterest, which I'm sure is a huge platform for them, They can just create another visual that's optimized for the blog, quick and easy, just an easy crop.
Right. One other thing I noticed from best practices is hero image seems to be very huge. So we want to make sure they're optimizing for that, right? Do we have any best practices for optimizing the hero images, sizing wise?
Typically, we aim for about 200 to 300 kilobytes. And keep in mind that the post images, we try to make even smaller than that. Hero images tend just to be a little bit larger and therefore a little bit bigger. But yeah, to your point, even looking at Google page speed for the blog, there's a ton of warnings about big images, big GIFs, just, a lot of images that could be optimized, and they can also implement lazy loading on their site to help with this.
Yeah, I feel like that's always an internal battle too with these in-house companies. They want their page speed to be super quick, and then also it's a battle of downloading plugins, and then how many plugins do we have on our site? Is that decreasing page speed? So that can be some sort of battle to go with, but there definitely is a happy medium, like Alex said, making sure those are optimized on the blogger first thing.
Yeah, we're talking about an SEO optimized post. We kind of talked about that link building can be harder for some of these brands, but let's get Kyla's opinion on what Free People can be doing to build some more links to their blog and to their site.
Yeah, for sure. So something I always find with these sites is that they usually lean on like influencers and like social promotion just to promote the brand in general. And as, a result, organic traffic like usually tends to fall by the wayside. So as Alex mentioned, cold outreach, emails for big brands like Free People usually doesn't work. It ends up resulting in a lot of like sponsorship requests. So there's a couple things that Free People can be doing just to, revamp their link strategy. Something that I would suggest is mention outreach to people that they feature in their blog. They highlight certain like fitness experts, beauty experts, leaning on these people to get links from them. They've mentioned them. These people might be able to give a link back to Free People as they're being mentioned. Another suggestion would be branded mention link reclamation. So just finding basically like unlinked references on the web where people are, mentioning Free People but not linking to them. Basically what this looks like from like an outreach perspective is just reaching out typically as the brand and asking somebody, hey, can you link to this post for us? Obviously not going with the expectation that you're going to get the link, but always being grateful for it. These types of asks typically tend to convert really well. It's an easy win for clients. Another suggestion would be doing photo reclamation, same process as link reclamation, essentially just, people who are using free people's photos, going back and, asking to credit them back to free people.
Yeah, and there's a few different ways that you can find someone's using your photos. One is just you can do a reverse image search on Google. Say, a certain image pops up everywhere, pop it into Google Images, see who's using that photo without linking back. Another strategy is that you can set up a Flickr, so ProFlowers does this, or any other crowdsourced or shared image platform, and basically put these photos up under a Creative Commons license saying that, hey, you can use my image, but please credit it this way. And that way you can get more links back to your page. If you are putting your images up on Flickr like this, you can basically just pull your Flickr profile, plug that into Ahrefs, and see who's linking to that instead of the link that you requested, and then reach out to them and ask them kindly just to switch that link.
Yeah, so it sounds like for a link building strategy for free people, main thing we're going to push them to change is mentioned outreach. This is, like we said, it's going to be a common theme throughout this. This is a big brand name in fashion and retail. So there's tons of people on the web mentioning them and influencers influencing people through free people. So one, mentioned outreach. Two, photo outreach. Such great photos. If we take a look at their Instagram profile, the content is there. We can also repurpose that to the blog. So multiple marketing channels harnessing all of those great photos. And like Alex mentioned, putting them on a crowdsourcing tool like Flickr. So when it comes to do the photo outreach, it's really easy.
So I had one more thought too, another way that free people can go about building links, basically leaning on these posts that target, some kind of keyword with large search volume behind it. So for instance, they have a couple posts like DIY flameless like fire pits. I think there's one on like how to create like long ponytail. These are pieces that are picking up like links organically. And there's a lot of search volume behind them. So just as a result, creating more pieces like this is just going to be like a natural way to build links back to free people's blog.
And I'd say in addition to this different kind of link building, big brands have the opportunity to go really big with their content and create something that ties their brand, but also is a huge resource and kind of a buzzworthy topic. So there's an example from ThredUp that I absolutely love. It's this fashion footprint calculator. And if you don't know what ThredUp is, it's kind of like consignment shopping, so reselling used clothing and making money from it. And this obviously puts less new clothes into production and kind of helps reuse and repurpose existing good quality clothes. And so this pretty directly ties to their brand. It's really, really visually beautiful, but also it links to outreach markets beyond fashion. So obviously we already talked about fashion bloggers don't really link a ton, but this is an emotional topic. So environmental, eco blogs can link to it. News, so like Bustle link to this because they're talking about eco fashion. So this kind of opens up an outreach market that wouldn't necessarily be there with a common infographic or, some of those lower budget posts.
Yeah, so because free people can't play with those influencer topics because they're showing their own style, they should lean into content topics like this that can hit other outreach markets that we've seen success with. So like Alex mentioned, beauty, recycling, that sort of thing.
And then in addition to kind of large content like this, fashion brands can create kind of hub pages based on keywords that really hone in on their product offerings. So Nordstrom is a great example of this. They targeted the keyword how to tie a scarf. And basically they created this hub page where it has a video at the top with kind of all the different ways to tie it. They're ranking in the quick answer for this. And then they really intelligently built out sections based on their main products. So cashmere scarves, oblong scarves, and it ties directly and it goes so that you can shop those scarves and get the look that they're showing you. In addition, they leverage the video on YouTube. So obviously repurpose your content as much as you can, get your most bang for your buck. This has over 5 million views because it's also ranking on YouTube for how to tie a scarf. So another great thing that lifestyle brands can leverage. And this is what I would call more of like a product hub. So obviously directly ties to a product, which is scarves. You can also do more of a content hub where you're targeting keywords that relate to your customer, draw your audience in, and drive traffic. So Stitch Fix has a really good example of this, where they have a big body type guide. So people searching, how to dress for my body type, women's body types. You can go in here. They have a really cool interactive calculator where if you're not sure, you can figure out what your body type is. And then they have individual sections for each body type that links out to other posts that are targeting body type specific keywords. They do have some CTAs in there. They could do better with the CTAs, but from just an idea perspective of funneling people in and also tying to their brand of, they help you find the fashion that fits your body type and fits your style. Really intelligent way to do this and drive a lot of traffic and organic links.
Yeah, love that, Alex.
So let's talk about Free People's brand and their blog shoppability. How can they be doing better? Are they funneling consumers in the right way?
Yeah, I love that. And that's a big thing too, because as the fashion industry is getting more competitive, consumers are expecting to be able to shop wherever they're coming into. So on social, Instagram is taking advantage of this with the tags. Like Instagram posts, you can come to it, click to it, shop. Like I have bought clothes straight from the Instagram ad. Free People should be leveraging on this blog, and that's something we haven't really seen them doing, and that they could improve on. So posts like this, they can leverage outfit images. So even user-generated content, if people are hashtagging my Free People or whatever Free People's hashtag might be for their social media, can the content team pull that onto the blog and make it shoppable? Alex, I think you had a really good example from Crate and Barrel that's already doing this,
Yeah,
right?
I love that, blogs that do this where you can look at the image, click on the product, and be able to shop it right away. And that creates kind of a holistic experience all in one, especially as a consumer going in and looking for, decor inspiration and things like that. You're already in the market to buy and want to emulate these looks.
Mm-hmm.
So why not just allow people to click right there? And there's so many different services that kind of let you do this to your images really, really easily.
Yeah, that's something we lean heavily on our dev team too. Tap them, like what kind of plugins can we try for this? Are there any tools where we can do this carousel? Really good brainstorming there. Something that Free People should definitely be taking advantage of, right? What about within the post? Kyla, what do we think best practices for CTAs within here?
Yeah, so you could have something like, for instance, like a sidebar CTA that's like sticky. So as you scroll, it moves with you. It's not invasive. It's not breaking up the post itself, but it's just kind of there as like a constant reminder of like, hey, shop this, or, go to the shopping page.
Yeah, I even think they could go as far as like tying their CTAs to the specific categories you're on.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're on the beauty category, ideally this Shop Free People CTA would link you back to the beauty and wellness page that looks beautiful and kind of drives consumers in a topic they're interested in, and hey, here's where you can shop. Another thing that's interesting is how nice and beautiful, look at this script font they're using to drive users to article pages. What we thought was interesting when we were doing our initial research is if you click through these article and wellness pages from Free People's site, this is actually not even taking us to the blog, which is kind of interesting. It does have beautifully, gorgeously designed kind of recommendations that we would make for the blog, and you can see they do have CTAs here. I'm not sure if either of you guys want to touch on 2 content hubs for Free People. Why are they kind of going after that? And is that something they should be doing?
Yeah, I think we just found this confusing because there's no really consistent way that we could find to get to these pages. In the drop downs, there's a featured section and some articles are featured on it. Looking at Ahrefs, some of these articles are ranking for things and getting traffic. But even though they obviously do to tie to these pages and have some great related products, which we think their blog should be doing, it's just a little bit of a confusing user experience. Like if they're going to do this format, which looks pretty good, why don't they just kind of port their whole blog there and create, a navigation and a flow that we can kind of find things really easily and be able to engage with the content more.
Yeah, and I think it's safe to say at Siege, our thought process is the blog should be a content hub where it's kept fresh. So it's fresh content. Whereas if companies are leveraging posts on site, this should be evergreen and tie really directly to the categories that they're selling for their consumers, right?
Right.
Awesome. So we just talked about shoppability, recapping that quick. 1, make images shoppable. 2, feature related products. And 3, make sure your CTAs are specific to the category your consumers are reading on. Another big thing that we see in-house companies doing, and since the field is getting so competitive, a lot of big brands are going to be competing on these terms. So they're spending a lot of money on customer acquisition costs and bidding on, for example, beachy outfit ideas, right?
Yeah, and to clarify, you're talking about PPC, right? So
Yeah,
instead
right.
of organic, they're bidding for these terms that are even informational.
Right. Yeah, PPC for terms that are informational, which is so interesting to me. When brands could be leveraging their organic strategy, kind of warm consumers up to the idea and content, and then do some retargeting and save money there.
So with this Lulu's example, you can see they're bidding on beachy outfit ideas. If you click into it, it's not optimized for that term at all. They could really just better optimize this post and drive organic traffic that way instead of spending money on, a pretty thin piece of content.
Love that point. So I know we talked about a lot of things and covered a lot of improvements that free people can make on their blog. So to recap, number one, harness your brand authority and make sure your blog feels like a sister to your on-site page. Number two, think design first. Design is super important. Leverage your team of designers to improve the content on the blog to match your other outlets. And three, drive consumers to shop. It should be really apparent where free people can make money and push consumers to their products. Alex, what was your favorite part?
Yeah, I'd say just if you're any major fashion brand that already has authority in the space, do SEO. You can see that no one else is doing it or they're not doing it well. So if you implement this, you'll already have a leg up on your competition. Another thing is just to repurpose content on multiple channels. So like that Nordstrom example, put your content on YouTube. Lifestyle people want to watch videos. You can rank on YouTube and drive way more traffic and views that way. And then another thing is just leverage content hubs. There's so many keywords and so many topics around scarves, around body types, around other things where you can create multiple posts for that topic and then basically have an ultimate guide that kind of compiles them all into one place. What about you, Kyla?
Yeah, so mine obviously are around link building strategy. So number one, just capitalizing on mention outreach. Two, using link reclamation and photo reclamation strategies. And three, also just building out those, leaning on optimized posts to basically drive organic traffic and then in turn links.
Yeah, great takeaways. Free people, we love you. Feel free to reach out. Our team would love to help give you some more tips. And now, unfortunately, it's time to give a grade. I wish mine could be higher, but today I'm going to give free people a C-. Alex, what do you think?
I'm pretty in line. I think a D+. There's some good things on the site, but really their traffic is declining. They're not optimizing for really anything. There's so much opportunity. And I definitely think they can get to an A with some of the suggestions we gave them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with you guys both. I'm going to go with Katie, also a C- on this one.
I think it's safe to say we'd give free people a C-. So Ross, I hope you're enjoying your vacation on the beach, and please don't fire us for this takedown of the content marketing takedown. If you like this video, please thumbs up, comment on any retail fashion marketing tips that you have, and subscribe. Thanks.